Hi guys, today we are gonna make some soup. Today we are making one of my all-time favorite soup recipes, Cozy Autumn Soup. It has some wild rice in it too. You could say Cozy Autumn Wild Rice Soup. That's kind of a mouthful. I really like soup. I feel like it's a hug in a bowl. It's got everything you need if you put it in there. It's got your protein, it's got your vegetable, it's got your nice warm broth in there. I would eat it any time of year if people would let me make it. So yeah. But I know what you're thinking. Jennifer Paul, Celebration State YouTube channel is for passionate Christian creatives. What does soup have to do with that? Well, let me tell you, my friend, soup is something that you can be creative with. You can be creative anywhere in your life, anywhere that you go, you can be creative. So today I wanted to talk about creativity in the kitchen, and I wanted to do that with soup because, here's a secret, I actually don't like cooking. I do like cooking for people because it makes them feel loved. I really like that. I like that it's an easy way to take care of people and they just feel like you care for them so much. And I do if I cook for you. So when I'm cooking, I am trying to get things done as quickly as possible. I want it to taste good, don't get me wrong, but I want it to be done like boom, bam, fast. And I'm like an eyeball it kind of a cook. You know, oh, just enough. Put that much in there. I don't know, does it look right? We'll stick a fork in it. That's how you can tell if it's done. That's how I cook. I am gonna buckle down and make you guys a recipe though, so that you can, you know, kind of just have something to work with when you're getting started. And that's really what I wanted to do, is give you guys the basics that will help you guys to make kind of any soup that you want to in the future, pretty much. And so here's creativity rule number 1. It is the only creativity rule I'm going to be giving you in this video, but it's number 1. So you need to know what the basics are before you can bounce off of those. So you got to know what the rules are before you can break them, right? So with soups, every medium has these basic rules that you need to kind of sort of operate under. And with soups, the rules are all about timing. As long as you know that the recipe is good, then all you need to do is make sure that the textures are going to be good, because the flavors should pretty much be on point. And the texture is achieved by the right timing. You want to put things in the order that they're supposed to go in and cook them until they're done, and not past that time, or they could get mushy or hard depending on what you're cooking. So what I like to do is I divide things into different categories when I'm cooking soups. And so everything is going to go in your broth. Now with this recipe we're using chicken broth, but you could also use a vegetable broth. And there's all kinds of broths out there that are yummy. And you can actually dilute the broth, or you could be super fancy and just use the whole thing broth. You could also use a bouillon cube, but I am just not super familiar with those. So we have our broths that everything's gonna be cooked in. Then we have what I like to call my sautés, my hard, my soft, and my dairy, okay? So for my sautés, I'm talking fresh meats. I'm talking my onions and my mushrooms, my bay leaves, those things that are going to be adding to the flavor, soaking up the flavor, and they're going to be something that you can kind of just, you want to get in there fast so that you're sure that they cook well and are just a part of all the flavors. Those are my sautés. Then for my hard vegetables in this recipe, it calls for sweet potatoes and carrots. And hard vegetables could be something else, like turnips or things like that, but this recipe is just sweet potatoes and carrots. Then later, our soft vegetables, those are going to go in after the hard ones are pretty much all cooked, are celery, and also we have kale. I'm going to be substituting spinach. Sometimes if you're adding bell peppers, those would be considered soft. Then at the very end is when you'll put your dairy in. And that doesn't really take any time at all to cook, and so that's why you add it last. So let's get started. First I add the broth that everything is going to cook in, and here's my chicken. Mixing it all up, this is my first sauté. Next I add chopped onions, and then mushrooms. I love mushrooms. You don't have to keep them in if you don't want, but I think they're phenomenal. Can't get enough. Here are my little bay leaves. I hope you have much bigger bay leaves than I did, but this was all I had. Then here are my first hard vegetables. I have my sweet potatoes and my carrots. I also should have put the rice in the soup pot at this point, but I had to cook it separately because I forgot. So then I'm gonna mix it all up. Oh, with this recipe, there's also garlic. And garlic is one of those things that's like in the middle. It's like kind of a weird category thing. You don't necessarily want to cook it as much as onions, but you got to put it in there before the soft stuff. So basically, once I got the potatoes cooking, I would put the garlic in a little bit after that. You could add it just with your soft stuff. It's just kind of up to you. But yeah, got to have the garlic in this recipe for sure. So I'm glad I didn't leave that out. Here's the garlic, and next you'll see me adding the soft vegetables, the celery and the spinach, which you should use kale when you do your recipe. But this was after everything, all the hard vegetables and the sautés were already well cooked, and I could stick a fork in them. Here I'm adding some water just to thin out the broth a little bit. And here is my dairy. You can make a fancy white sauce if you want to, but I love using a white pasta sauce in my soups because it's just so easy and it tastes so great. Then I mix it all up, and then it is ready to serve and enjoy. Yum. One more thing is that this seasoning, Old Bay seasoning, is super yummy. It's also a little bit spicy, and you can add that in as much as you want. I really like it for flavor, but I don't put a ton of it in because of my kiddos. In fact, I usually don't put any in if I have enough bay leaves that are giving it that flavor, because this does have a bay leaf flavor. But you can always add it at the end too, just to however much you want in your bowl. Thank you so much for watching. There are so many amazing things in this world that are worth celebrating. And today we got to celebrate soups, you guys. So let me know in the comments what you thought of this recipe. Are you a soup person? Are you not a soup person? Were there parts of this recipe that you think are gross? You want to troll me in the comments? Please troll me in the comments. And let me know, because it's actually cool about this recipe. It's not true of all recipes, but this recipe, there's pretty much either a way to substitute stuff, or you can pretty much just take any of the ingredients out, like any single ingredient, and the soup is so amazing that you're going to be fine still. So I hope it blesses you. I hope you guys have an amazing time getting creative with soups, and let me know how that goes. Please don't forget to like and subscribe and turn on the notification bell. We're gonna have a lot more creative adventures, and we would so love for you to come on them with us. Thank you so much, you guys. Have a great soup.